This is Robert Merdlacci, the Mindshare Learning Report here at the final day of Night Skate 23, Mission Possible here in Rochester, just across the pond. Had we had that high-speed foil, it would have taken us about 30 minutes. It was about 2.5 hours, but well worth the trip. And I have to say, this is my second time at Night Skate. I tell all the ed techs in Canada, come to Night Skate. It's one of the biggest states, our neighbor to the south, and a great opportunity to connect with educators and learn the latest trends. And we got Warren Salmon from Ashaware. Warren, thank you for joining me.
Hey, Robert, it's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to see you. This is my first Night Skate. I came down as an exhibitor, so meeting a lot of great folks.
Tell us a little bit about your software solution and what's the feedback?
Yeah, so we have an online platform. It's supplemental material, content that's culturally inclusive, to really do tie it into different subject areas and match it with different curriculum standards to help support STEM, SEL, literacy, and numeracy. And so really making some great contacts.
Fantastic. And I should preface this by saying that we're all fellow Torontonians here and the GTA, and Warren's small connection. Before I knew Warren, I played squash with his uncle, who was the former dean of environmental studies at York University. And so great to continue the tradition and being connected to the family. So yeah, Dr. David Bell. And we have our past winners of the Startup Challenge, Dragon's Den style, at the EdTech Summit. That was 3 years ago now, Aman.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. This is our first Night Skate as well. Got to speak on a panel. Special thank you to Amy, the host of the event, and also Amy Bloom from Buffalo Public Schools for bringing us down to chat about what we're doing and having the opportunity to connect with a lot of great people here.
So I heard Henry had a dream. He had a dream, and you have. Are you going to show the image, or should I pull it out of my pocket, or? It's in my pocket. I got this envelope. And Henry, why don't you tell us a little bit about your dream and EI Amplified? You heard it here first publicly, so tell us about it and how that evolved.
Totally. So we are EI Amplified previously, and we're rebranding as Factors. And it's always good to.
Should I do the drum roll?
It's always good to introduce a new baby to the world. Factors in our case, and we're early stage ed tech right now, still working on understanding the challenge that we're solving. It's always good to make further progress forward.
Impressions. There you go. From EI Amplified to Factors. You heard it here first, and congratulations. Talk to me about this. I was just in a couple of sessions. I walked through a number of sessions, and AI is the rage here. Talk to me about what your impressions were, what insights you may have gathered, and how your solution is evolving from an AI perspective.
For sure. Definitely a lot of sessions on AI. I remember when we first started in 2021 attending our first conferences, and we started speaking about large language models, sentiment analysis. No one really understood what we were talking about, but now coming to Night Skate, about every hour there's a session on artificial intelligence. A lot of great tools and technologies out there, but what I really found is no one's looking at the analytical side of AI, which really puts us in a unique position, being able to understand student language and student voice and using that to make change. AI has the power to provide rapid data analysis, understand student voice, and break it down in a digestible way for educators. We all understand that educators are busy, they're overwhelmed, they deal with after-school activities. So really, we found ourselves in a unique position being at this conference, focusing on analytical AI to be able to understand the needs and emotions of different population groups.
Well, that was very well described. I couldn't have said it better myself. Henry, thoughts about more thoughts about the branding and where you're evolving to? How's that going to roll out? And you actually dreamed about the brand.
Yeah, it came from a dream. I woke up and the idea stuck, and it was really, really interesting how we came about. But I think it's a really interesting time in terms of artificial intelligence in general and generative artificial intelligence in specific, in terms that we've seen an attitude shift in the last 6 to 8 months, where people change from its initial panic stage into a it's a new technology, it's a new tool, it's not going anywhere. So we need to embrace it, and we need to see how we can leverage it. So I think that's definitely something that we're very excited about.
Also really excited about how it's going to impact equity, and also some of the work that Warren's doing around equity and providing cultural relevant content as well. I feel like there is a huge opportunity to personalize some of the content you're doing. Like looking at Black history, for example, within the different content curriculum is going to be really important.
Fascinating.
Yeah, and just incorporating diversity into
I see
education.
a partnership in the making here. I didn't even realize I nurtured this. We'll have to work me into the equation. Over to you, Warren.
Yeah, I think one of the things, as Aman said, AI is the big topic, at this conference. I think people are still trying to get their head around it, but I think teachers are looking at it ways of, they're so swamped with everything. They can use AI to, I think, help manage their time and save a lot of time. And then, also with respect to the students, for preparing lesson plans and, just really cutting down on a lot of time. And I think they're still trying to figure out the best way to, integrate it into the classroom and stuff. But even with administrative stuff, like scheduling, we had, I guess, a keynote from Microsoft was talking about scheduling,
Right.
Scheduling management. And it went from 10,000 man hours to like a day, in terms of having the AI manage the schedule.
Wow.
So there's so many different applications, and it's still evolving. But
I'd like to say it's never been a more exciting time to be in education with the power and potential of tech-infused pedagogy. But it is about balance, and we have something in common here. We're all like past athletes or retired athletes or want to continue to be athletes. Warren played varsity football at York when I was sport information director. I'm still playing faculty hockey at York. We got an Olympic caliber swimmer from China, and then we have this man who still continues to bounce the ball on the court and try to avoid injuries where possible. So, but what does that say about balance in how we live our lives and how kids need to be? We need to model for kids as well.
For sure, I think the same way you approach sports is the same way you'll approach life. If you're not disciplined during practice, you won't be disciplined in your practice. So a lot of the transferable skills from sports are able to carry over into the entrepreneurial life, but also just in your personal life as well. So I remember always being the first one at practice, try to be the first one at conferences, doing the same thing as well. But again, just really embracing that growth mindset that sports really embraces with us.
Yeah, I think I was chatting just now with an educator around here in Rochester, Travis. I want to give him full credit for this, but I think I couldn't have said it any better. Sport is about building a character. It's about growth. It's like every type of sport we play in education system. It's about building someone to be a more holistic, more developed individual as a citizen, as a participant in a society, as better character. So,
yeah. And for us, me and Robert, that's, older generation, it's really a healthy choice. Life is so stressful, and sports and staying active really helps balance. With the work-life balance, and for me, it helps me sleep better, eat better, and it really balances things out. So definitely a healthy choice.
Now let's before we wrap up, let's talk about the importance of partnerships and how we've come out of our shells a little bit down here and pun intended. But we really have connected with some incredible people, and there's a lesson there in some of the other ed techs in Canada, and generally speaking, why we do what we do and come to these events. It's very inspiring, making those human connections, but also like our ed tech summit in Ottawa, and you're all there. Thank you for joining us, and the insight you gather. So there are a lot of good reasons to have that face-to-face connection and human connection, if you will.
For sure. I know one of the things we were excited to do was to connect with ProSolve when we came here, look at a potential partnership there. But I feel like education is all about collaboration because we're focused on the youth. So why are we competing with each other, right? If we're really building for the future, there shouldn't be any competition in how we want students to reach their full potential. We may have different value alignments, but at the end of the day, we're serving the youth and we're serving the future. So as much as we can collaborate and work together is going to be imperative because we're all helping each other grow, and our whole goal is to help students grow at the end of the day. So,
Henry.
Couldn't have said it any better than Norman. So I'm going to pass it to Warren.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think partnerships are, you can definitely develop partnerships through, you know, through NIScape and other such conferences. It's also relationship building, you know, especially when you're dealing with these districts. You know, you got to really come to these things to really see some of those people, and you know, you have to just help to further develop the relationship. And then with us, you know, we can share information. You know, we're in the same space and really look to help and support each other. So, you know, those are some of the benefits, definitely.
So inspiring. Kudos to you for all that you do and making an impact on the lives of students and teachers. And so great to connect with you guys here. You're on a great path to success. As I've been mentoring these guys as winners of our contest. And final thoughts to share is before we wrap up with our audience back in Canada and around the world, actually.
Yeah, first off, just want to say thank you to Robert for all he does for the EdTech community and the EdTech space, especially in Canada. If we had 100 Roberts, we'd be thriving a lot more in Canada with the EdTech space, but we're doing really well.
I'm buying you lunch for that.
But yeah, I just want to say thank you to Robert. Thank you to NIScape for putting on a great event. And just thank you to everyone in Rochester and that's attending. You guys have been really welcoming. Feels like another home here. And building great connections and relationships is what it's all about. So
great city.
Yeah, really happy to be here and looking forward to being here again next year.
Yeah. Henry, final thoughts.
Again, he's the cooler one. He said it better than me. So I'm passing to Warren.
Yeah. Well, I really want to echo what Aman said. I really want to thank Robert for his leadership, you know, and bringing Canadian EdTech companies and the community together, and also for really crossing the border, you know, and making it more international because, you know, it just widens up the community and the outreach. So, Robert, I really want to thank you for that. And, you know, NIScape, there's another great conference, so close to home. You know, usually we have to travel, you know, a lot further.
Like
but
Philadelphia or California.
That's right. So
Well,
thanks, Robert.
Thank you so much. And I just want to say that, you know, we're here because we really believe it's important to collaborate and partner with our neighbors to the south. And this is one of the top conferences that regional conferences in North America. So we're looking forward to next year, building on what we did in Ottawa, back in Toronto. We're back in Toronto for 2024, the 15th Canadian EdTech Summit. And that concludes this session. We'll be interviewing one of the past keynotes here, Carl Hooker, who has a new book on AI shortly. Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Henry and Aman. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, and keep the learning curve steep.